Hello, everybody. My name is Margot, and my story can shock an unprepared reader. And I, my dear listeners, don't mean what you think. I want to say I'm not a stupid teenager, but I'm an adult, quite an independent girl who hasn't lived with her parents for a long time. Well, actually, I'm 18, and I've been studying at college last year. So I'm renting a room with a friend closer to my college. It's less pretentious, but it's true, yeah? My relations with my parents were warm, even friendly, despite the fact that I was born quite late. And now, they are both over 60 years old. They're still cool and march around with the time, and they really understand what's going on around. We usually meet at the weekend. I come home from college, sometimes alone or with my boyfriend, and we do all sorts of family things, like playing Jenga or Monopoly. Dad cooks barbecue in the backyard, and Mom bakes delicious pies. Anyway, everything is totally normal, just like everyone else. Once, my mom told me how to do my makeup, take care of myself. She also told me on some intimate topics, like epilation or my growing up to be a woman. My dad told me how to protect myself. He even showed me a couple of combat methods. Fortunately, I didn't apply them. But we had one of those moments that we don't talk about. Yeah, sex education. Parents left it to the school psychologists because, well, it's really awkward to talk about these things with kids. And if at least 1,000 times everyone would say that parents should explain the basics to kids, whatever for many people is just one more psychological trauma added to another one. BTW. I wonder if there are some parents anyway who ever talk to their kids about this. I think the maximum was this stupid story about the birds and bees and handing some encyclopedias. What about you? Have your parents ever told you where kids come from? If yes, write in the comments below. Moreover, at school, we had special lessons on this topic. Even a doctor from a local clinic came to us to present everything as close to the science as possible. And if I'm thinking right, my parents also had this, at least once, before I appeared in this world, but I did not want to go into details. However, when I was 13, I had to deal with this personally, and honestly, I didn't really see anything. But the fact, anyway, I had to work with a psychologist later. Because although everything is all right, but parents' bed games are the last things you want to know, believe me. And then I got older, and I was likely to be home for a long time, like longer than just passing out of my bedroom and rushing back to life in the morning. And I didn't care about my parents' hobbies anymore. This is a normal story when kids have something more important than their parents, just a stage of growing up. I had a boyfriend, and our relationships were complicated. It was very difficult to focus on other people because of it. I even forgot about my friends at that time because I didn't have the energy or time for this. This terrible guy took all my life. Then, of course, I realized that he was a typical abuser. And if my plans for a happy life together became reality, once upon a time, it would destroy me. But the time passed. Well, then there was a painful, awful breakup when I hadn't any thoughts about my parents again. And then I went to college and left home, and I never tried to ask what my parents were doing behind the closed bedroom door, or if they were doing anything at all. At college, things were not going all right as we would have liked. The college, new relationships, new friends to replace the previous ones, all this sent me into oblivion. This time I got a wonderful guy, very kind and open-hearted, but he had to work hard to turn the monster like me into an adequate person. I'm talking about myself now. I wasn't okay for quite a long time after the previous breakup. I was suffering from the nightmares, feelings, and I had big problems with trust. But my boyfriend was really someone I wanted to believe to. He took my poor mind and managed to put all my thoughts in the right direction. But together, we handled all the things, and I stopped hanging out at my parents' house all the weekend. Now I have my own relationship, and me and my boyfriend spent weekends together, including Jenga. But no, it's not truth. We're playing another game. Guess what? I know very well that kids are not brought by the stork, and I know that all adults have sex. there's nothing wrong here. As I said, I have already caught even my parents in this situation. In my childhood, of course. It was a shocking information. Like, what? My parents aren't like others? But then I grew up and just accepted it. When it happened, I was a normal person with the sex education and maturity in a moral sense. But what I saw, just passing by the open door to my parents' bedroom, really shocked me. I would have given anything if I could have never seen it. The knowing and seeing are very different things for perception. I knew, even saw, but it was a long time ago, and it turned out that everything is not so. You see, even though I have a boyfriend and an active personal life, I'm pretty tight-lipped and a shy person. I can't help myself. It's hard for me to relax. So we usually don't experiment in bed. Well, we're also young, with good bodies. So if anyone sees us, they will like us. I hope. But I also hope no one will ever see it. But my parents did not seem to bother with this question at all. Otherwise, why didn't they lock their door? Imagine you come to your parents for the weekend. Eat mom's delicious pies, discuss important things with your dad, and in the evening when you're just going to drink some water and you see it through the wide open door. My elderly parents obviously weren't waiting for the audience because the door was really wide open. And in the middle of the room, my elderly, let's say, not too preserved physically mother in a short semi-transparent negligee was dancing slowly in front of the same undressed father. I was so shocked by what I saw that I froze right in my place, as if I had grown into the floor, honestly. I couldn't even close my eyes because I think I've lost 100 neurons in my head, including those responsible for movement. Never before or after this nightmare, I did not notice such a paralyzing voyeurism behind me. Yeah. So as I was standing in the corridor, and it is wide and dark enough that you can hide 10 persons such as my complexion, the parents did not notice me. I doubt they wouldn't have noticed a mammoth at that moment, even if I had passed through their room, because my mother suddenly took off her robe and went to my father. There was a moment I mentally broke down. I screamed. I slammed the door and I ran to my bedroom, where I sat in total shock with a slightly crippled psyche until the morning. And I strongly suspected that after this night, my parents' sexual life finished. Although they're 60 years old and they're still doing it. Seriously, how? In fact, I don't want to know the answer. And seeing what I saw is also out of my dreams. Because in fact, if you are 12 or 18 or 40, your parents' sex will never be perceived naturally. This is a fact proven by statistics. And in the morning, when I ate my goddamn oatmeal and dreamed of falling somewhere, my parents pretended that nothing happened at night. It's just the usual breakfast of an ordinary, respectable family. Everyone smiles and drinks his coffee. I couldn't stand it. When my father complimented Mom one more time and winked, I yelled a little with acclaim at my parents. They sincerely were surprised and said they do not see anything wrong with the situation. It seems like I'm already a big girl with a young man, and soon I can become a mother myself. And no one is going to do tragedies from accidentally opening a door. Because to quote my mother, it's like you don't do anything spicy with your boyfriend. Nope, Mom, I'm not doing something spicy with my boyfriend. Sorry. Only they promised me to close the door next time. Better on the latch, so that's for sure. But even then, after my hysteria, that I would not come to them again. And perhaps they even are right in something. The parents are people too, adults and loving each other. And the daughter cannot take their joy of sex. At least I was told that they are right. If they were another parents and another girl, not me and my old parents. But in this combination, no thank you. From everything I saw, except for the next payment for a psychotherapist, I made one conclusion for myself. The doors should be closed. But seriously, there may be places on Earth where it is normal. But in our modern society, where even parents are afraid to talk about sex with their children, such scenes are traumatic at any age. By the way, At 13 years old, even less, because the child's psychics tend to forget the unpleasant, and there are still so many adventures every day that spying on my parents is a boring thing, and not a reason for discussion. But as soon as you begin to realize how everything works in this world, stay away from your parents' bedroom, because it really breaks your mind. And now, you have to go to your psychotherapist. Write in the comments, who is also a curious one, who likes to know about things that are out of your business. Give me likes. And of course, do not forget to close the doors if you're gonna have sex.